Hey Natasha, thanks so much. We'll just start in a couple more minutes. Just give anyone that wants to follow along live just a few more moments to arrive. Alright, so thanks everyone for joining me here for this another live flow. I think this has got to be like 10 or 11 days in a row of doing this. So response has been cool. Keep showing up and I'll keep posting these things, right? Always one a day. So whether you're starting in child's pose or you're starting in a cross-legged seated position at the top of the mat, that's up to you. I'll start cross-legged seated like I have been, but feel free to take child's pose or even take Supine if that's how you prefer to start. Right, and then shift towards that patient approach. Right, no need to hurry, no need to fix or manage anything right now. Can you just allow yourself to get settled in the body? Right, and then once you kind of roll the head around, maybe roll the shoulders front and back a few times. Can you gently close the eyes if they aren't already? And gently allow the lips to close. And then can you take a moment just to check in? And taking a moment here to pause before we start to move. And just identify whatever it is that's going through your mind. Whatever it is physically you might be bringing to the mat. Potentially identifying any sort of emotional quality of the day so far. Ask yourself what it looks like. And whatever that initial answer is that kind of popped up, that impulsive answer, you just kind of put that in a file. Whatever that answer is to what you do. Right, and then from that place, from that awareness, we'll shift our attention to the breath. Right, so whether you're in Supine, child's pose, or just that cross-legged seated pose, and you just start to observe the breath. Feeling that breath enter and exit the body. Feeling the chest and the belly rise and fall with every inhale and exhale. And then you slowly start to build a deeper breath. In order to kind of shake some cobwebs out and get that breath maybe some nooks and crannies that it hasn't been all day. Right? What we'll do here is we'll fill all the way up together. Pause at the top. And then let us slow exhale out of the mouth. Just do one more of those, so that big fill up. And then that dramatic exhale. Pause. Lips come closed again. And then now you start to build that ocean-like rhythm of your inhale and exhale. Feeling that inhale crest as you inhale, or as you breathe in, and then feeling that wave crash as you breathe out. A few more moments here, just observing breath. Take another big breath in together, filling all the way up and pausing at the top. And then like you're blowing out through a straw, slowly exhale through the mouth. Slowly break the eyes open and doors closed. And let's transition into a tabletop pose. So whether you cross the ankles under you, or you just roll up from your child's pose, let's find that strong tabletop by rooting the hands under the shoulders, placing the knees directly under the hips. Making sure thumb, index, and middle finger knuckle firmly root into the earth. Hug the forearms in slightly, micro bend in the elbows. From there, roll inner shoulder to outer shoulder. So the biceps roll towards the front of the mat, elbows point towards the back of the mat. From there, place the tops of the feet down. And then like you're nodding your head side to side, feel the crown of the head move a little bit forward towards the front of the mat. And then wiggle your hips side to side and feel that tailbone move in the opposite direction. Slowly come back towards some stillness there and that strong tabletop pose. Another big, massive breath in. And then that big, loud breath out of the mouth. Very nice. From there, we'll tuck the toes under and we'll find downward facing dog. In our down dog, it's our first one. A lot of you that are joining us know the deal, right? We're moving around, we're shaking the head, yes or no. Alright, maybe you want to roll onto the tops of the feet, maybe you want to shake out one of the legs. So just kind of move around, check in with this first downward facing dog. Alright, special attention to the hands, right? Really shift that weight into the entire hand, including all 10 fingers, right? 10 fingertips. Beautiful. And then come to a still expression of your downward facing dog. And then from this still expression of downward facing dog, toe heel your feet together. Beautiful. From there, roll it into a high plank pose or your first high push-up. Awesome. And then from this high push-up or high plank, we'll take a forearm plank by lowering the elbows down where the hands just were. Very nice. And then from here, float that right heel to a hover. Right, holding it here, gazing in between your forearms or in between your thumbs. Right, don't look forward, don't look down. Right, keep that straight, long line of energy. Right, from that lifted right heel all the way through the crown of the head. And then switch, so lift that left heel off the mat. Pressing firmly down through your forearms, dragging your elbows towards your right toes. Right, and then engaging that left glute, right, floating that left leg to a hover. Lower that big toe down. Come back into your high plank pose. Right, and then from your high plank pose, float that right leg to a hover, right back to where it was. And then exhale, right knee to right elbow. Tap, re-extend right leg, right knee, right elbow. Tap, that's 2. We're going to do 5 total. So 3, moving on your breath, exhale into 4. Moving on your breath, exhale into 5. Re-extend, back into high plank pose. Float that left leg to a hover, big breath in. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, tap. Again, 5 on this side too. Alright, moving on your breath. Breath might be a little stressed because the core is engaged and we're using effort here. Alright, but do your best. Finishing up that last round. Back into your high plank pose. Big breath in from here. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. And then inhale into that first up dog. And I recommend holding for 3 rounds of breath here. Right, making sure that you're pinching the shoulder blades behind you. Right, you're unclenching the glutes, pressing the tops of your feet into the earth. Right, taking a big breath in, and then exhale, downward facing dog.
Very nice. From downward facing dog, inhale high onto the balls of your feet, and then slowly tiptoe it up and find that first ragdoll at the top of the mat. All right, so first ragdoll, you're grabbing opposite elbows or letting the arms dangle heavy. You can sway the body side to side, and you can also just hold stillness. All right, but keep the lips gently closed, and then just hang out here. Pressing pause on the day. Potentially giving yourself that explicit permission to practice. And what I mean by that is like telling yourself, like Tyler, you have the next 50 minutes to purely be in your body, in your breath, and care about nothing. And from that permission to practice, surrendering any of that specific tension in the lower back, the mid back, the upper back. Scanning the belly and chest for any tension or rigidity and letting go of that with an exhale. Feeling the arms get heavier as you bring that attention to the arms and hands and fingertips. And then finally working that spotlight of attention up into the crown of the head, the face, the brow line, the cheek, the jaw. Alright, letting go of any tension there. Alright, from this place of letting go and surrender, take a big breath in. And then a full breath out. Hands lower down to the mat. Gently toe heel the big toes back together. And then we'll slowly roll it up and find that first strong Tadasana, the pose, drawing your shoulder blades back. Inhale, reach the arms up. Relaxing the shoulders from the ears. Think about that high plank that we were just in. Right? So tuck them towards your heels. Right? Feel the shoulder blades descend away from the ears. Right? Big breath in as you look up in between the palms. And then on your exhale, lower hands down to heart center. Heart into thumbs, thumbs into heart. Take a moment with the elbows out wide. Alright, to bring that file that you set away of like what it is that you need. Alright, so bring it back into your awareness, whatever that answer was. Right, and then can your intention directly relate to what it is that you need? Right, can we create more of that quality here? Or let go of some sort of quality that's getting in the way of what it is that you need? Alright, so from that place of setting your practice towards something, take a big, massive breath in, and a big breath out. Very nice. Inhale to reach it up, find Tadasana, and then a first slow swan dive forward. Inhale to a halfway lift, and then exhale, hands lower down, step it back into a high plank pose. From this high plank pose, pike it back up into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, roll it into high plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Back into high plank. Side plank, left hand down, right arm reaches towards the sky. Very nice. Big breath in as you look up towards that lifted thumb. And then exhale, rotate that right arm under the body, reach under. And as you look under, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, rotate, twist under, look under. Very nice. That's 2. We got 5, right? Exhale, reach under, twist from the core. Inhale, push that left hand down without locking out the left elbow. All right, that's 4. Last one, we'll finish in Vashisthasana, so back to where we started. Awesome, and then from that side plank, back into a high plank pose. Awesome, from that high plank pose, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Back into high plank, back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, rolling back into a high plank pose, and then into side plank on the opposite side. Right hand down, left arm reaches towards the ceiling, or towards the sky if you're like me. Alright, so look up towards that lifted thumb, take a big breath in, and then exhale, rotate under, but still lift from the hips as you rotate. Inhale to the sky, exhale, rotate under. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, rotate it under. See if you can't keep that right shoulder head right on top of the wrist. Right, so mine's having the tendency to kind of float back. Right, so it might need to kind of spider crawl yourself a little bit more forward. Last one here. Big inhale, reach up. Big inhale, reach under, or exhale, reach under. Back into side plank, back into high plank. From high plank, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Into upward facing dog. And then exhaling into downward facing dog. Very nice. From there, inhale high onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, step or float, find a halfway lift at the top of your mat. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Mountain pose. Now finding a bit more flow here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then exhale, hands lower down. If you're stepping back, you're stepping back into a high plank. Exhale, lowering down into chaturanga.
Inhaling into upward facing dog.
And then exhaling into downward facing dog. Right, but if you know some A's, go through them. We'll do a few here. Inhale high onto the balls of the feet, knees bend, step or float, halfway lift, top of the mat if you're following me. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive it up, and then a swan dive it down on your exhale. Inhale to a halfway lift, and then exhale, hands lower down. Body flows through. I'm hopping back now to bend, soft elbows. All right, inhaling up, exhaling into down dog. All right, inhale high, knees bend. You can step or float, halfway lift, top of the mat. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, refold. One more complete sun A from here. Halfway lift. And then hands lower down. Move it through that vinyasa. Right, and always
Skipping vinyasas if you want to.
just step back to down dog whenever I call them out. Inhale high onto the balls of the feet. Knees bend, step, float. Halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Rise up. Mountain pose. Right into Utkatasana, right into chair pose. Hugging the inner thighs in, tailbone low. If you're looking for that self-adjustment, right, you bring your fist sort of right above your belly button, and then you bring your left fist right on your tailbone, and you push that right fist up to the gut as you press that left fist down towards the mat, right, and then maintaining that strong core alignment, arms reach up from there. All right, sinking low, sinking even lower, and then lower your hands down to your side. Very nice. Interlace your hands behind your low back. Tricep extension as you bring the thumbs off the lower back. And then exhale, forward fold with bound arms. Allowing the forehead to release towards the shins. Beautiful. If you need a towel or a strap here, I'm more than okay. Keep that soft bend in the knees. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips scrape the mat. Back to Utkatasana for 1 round of breath. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then exhale, hands lower down. Body moves through that vinyasa of your choice. Whether it's that classic Surya Namaskara A or it's something more creative. Inhale high onto the balls of the feet. Bend your knees, step or float. Halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, look up, palms pressed. Add a gentle back bend. And then exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back into a long runner's lunge. Very nice. All right, so hug the inner thighs in, lifting the belly off the thigh. Lighten the hands. Good. Taking a moment here to breathe into the front of that right hip flexor. And then hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Roll yourself into a high plank pose. Lower down knees, chest and chin. On your inhale, find cobra with the hips low, the elbows back. And you can go no hands, right? You can go big high up or something midway through. From whatever cobra you're in, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Step it into a long runner's lunge. Beautiful. Huge inhale. Step up top of the mat, big toe, and big toe arrive together. Arms reach out in front of you. Rise up to your back bend, and then hands lower down to heart center. Inhale, reach it up, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back, long runner's lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. Roll it into high plank pose. Lower knees, chest and chin. On your inhale, find your cobra. On your exhale, lift back into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Step it into a long runner's lunge. Massive inhale. Big exhale, step up top of the mat. Arms reach out in front of you, rise up, back bend. Hands lower back down to heart center. Bend your knees, and we'll set up for that prayer twist. Right, so just like Utkatasana, right, we want the tailbone to be adjusted. You can bring yourself to that self-adjustment if you'd like. And then we'll take that first prayer twist to the right with the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Knees bend, hip open. Knees bend, heart open. All right, hips are closed here. Closed and square. Looking over that right shoulder. Breathing. Back to Utkatasana. And then hands lower back down to heart center, taking that prayer twist now towards the left. Awesome. Shifting weight into the left ball of your foot, shifting weight back into your right heel, and allowing the knees to stay square from that movement. And then looking over the left shoulder. Here for just another 4. 3, 2, 1, forward fold. Very nice. From your forward fold, halfway lift. And then that another option for a vinyasa. Stepping, flowing through. Whatever you need to get you to down dog. From downward facing dog, inhale right leg to the sky. And then step it into warrior 1. Alright, so first warrior 1 here. Arms reaching up. Big parallel powerful bend in the right thigh. And then strong line of energy through the left leg. Very nice, right? Think about dragging the right heel back, but also the right hip with it. All right, breathing deep there. As you sink low, look up, palms press, and then open into warrior 2. Very nice, right? Use your core here to draw the pelvis under the hips, and then reach forward, flip your palm. Peaceful warrior as you open up that right rib cage. Alright, send one more deep breath in, and then on your exhale, slowly windmill the hands down, and move through a vinyasa. Option to float that right foot. Option to add on chin stands, handstands, whatever you want. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Step it in to warrior 1. Right heel spins down, arms reach up. There it is. Awesome. Power through both legs. Right, but soften the toes. Right, relax the shoulders from the ears, soften the face, unclench the jaw. Look up, watch the palms press as you open into warrior 2. Alright, come back to that rhythm of breath we found to start practice. Massive inhales, complete exhales. Reach forward, palm flips, peaceful warrior, up and out of that left hip. Breathing for 3, 2. Let's windmill the hands down. And another option to float that foot back. And we'll meet in down dog. Very nice, awesome. From downward facing dog, inhale high into the ball of your feet. Bend your knees, step or float, halfway lift, top of your mat. And then on your exhale, forward fold. Root down, rise up, land into Tadasana. Relax the shoulders from the ears, reaffirm that strong neutral pelvis without gripping the mat with your toes. I feel that long line of energy from the heels to the crown of the head. Taking a moment to close your eyes here, keep the lips closed. Coming back to that intention that you set. And course correcting towards it, right? If you stray way off from it over this practice so far, always that opportunity to course correct. From there, press the palms together overhead on your next inhale, back bend, and then exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back into a long runner's lunge. Take a twist, right hand down, left arm reaches towards the sky. Breathe. Very nice. From there, finding that water wheel pose. So rising up, stacking the shoulders over the hips, looking back towards that lifted thumb. Very nice. Awesome. Like someone's pulling your wrists apart from one another. Option for the Exalted Warrior, left hand down to the outside of the right thigh, reaching up away from that, really deep stretch in the front body, and then open into Warrior 2. Awesome. All right, from Warrior 2, we'll reach forward, find side angle pose. Very nice. From side angle pose, back to Warrior 2. From Warrior 2, side angle pose. Back to Warrior 2. From Warrior 2, side angle pose, right? So lifting and lowering a couple times into it, just to notice how the arms really just stay the way they would be in Warrior 2, right? Keeping the shoulders stacked is what we're going for. So if the left hand's down, it's down, but make sure that that left knee and left tricep are in line and pressing into one another. If your left forearm is on the thigh, it's another great option, right? But use that left elbow, push it towards the left side of your mat, and then feel your heart move through the gateway of the arms there. Very nice. From there, take one more big breath in, back into Warrior 2. Very nice. From Warrior 2, reach up into Warrior 1. From Warrior 1 here, find your crescent lunge, spinning that right heel off the mat, and then drop your hands to your side, airplane pose, shift forward into that left foot without locking out that left knee. You want to draw that right hip down in space. Good. Right, trying to wrap those triceps around the spine, and then the belly wants to go soft here, right? Can you tuck the belly button up towards the spine? Good. Taking one more big breath in, and then back into your runner's lunge. Huge inhale as you drag the heart forward, and then step back downward facing dog. From there, roll yourself back into high plank, lower knees, chest, and chin. On your inhale, find cobra, and then on your exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky, step it into a long runner's lunge. Very nice. From that runner's lunge, standing needle top of the mat. All right, so we're in a standing needle just for a brief moment, hands under shoulders. And then from there, bring your thumbs to your heart and your heart to your thumbs. From there, Ardha Chandrasana, opening up the hips, reaching up towards that left thumb, reaching up towards the ceiling, looking up towards your left thumb. Maybe floating that bottom hand to your heart. Right, maybe testing yourself balance-wise from there. Breathe. Awesome. And your half moons too, right? If you look back towards those left toes, you could see them. If you can't, you can still, your pelvis isn't neutral, right? So you want to tuck the pelvis forward there, bringing your toes into your drishti or your gaze. From half moon, back into standing needle. From standing needle, big toe meets big toe. Very nice. Slowly roll yourself up. Draw the shoulder blades back. Reanimate into Tadasana. Press the palms together overhead. On your next inhale, back bend. On your exhale, forward fold. Step your left leg back into a long runner's lunge. Take your twist here. Right elbow high, and then top of the arm reaches from that elbow. Breathe. All right, using this as a foundation for water wheel. So before you rise up, just notice where your feet are. Can you keep your feet, or your legs, like they were poured in cement? And then just rise your shoulders on top of that. Looking back towards that thumb, right? Still reaching, though, that left arm forward as well as the right arm reaches back. Option for Exalted Warrior as you drop down to the outside of that left hip with the right, or left thigh with the right hand. Take one more big breath in here, and then open into Warrior 2 as you spin that left heel down. From Warrior 2, right, we'll reach forward, find side angle pose, and then come back into Warrior 2. Right, so arms stay right where they are. We'll reach and then tip and stack back into side angle. We'll come back into Warrior 2 last time, and then we'll reach, tip and stack into side angle. So whether the forearm's on the thigh or the hand is on the inside or outside of that right foot isn't nearly important to me as your left hip stacking on top of your right, and your left shoulder stacking on top of your right. And that might mean, being honest with your practice, and bringing the elbow on the thigh. Mindful of the space between your right ear and your right shoulder. Don't let the right ear collapse towards the shoulder. Stay long through the four sides of the neck. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into Warrior 2. Very nice. Reaching up into Warrior 1. Reaching into your crescent lunge, right? Taking a big breath in from here, and then lowering the hands down to your side, pressing into that strong Dekasana or airplane pose here. All right, no locking out of that right knee, hugging the inner thighs in, lifting the belly towards the spine, engaging, right? Both that Mula Bandha with the inner thighs, Uddiyana Bandha with that abdominal lock, and then pressing the back of your head up towards the sky or ceiling, engaging that Jalandhar Bandha, right? Or those energy locks of the body there. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Back into your runner's lunge. Huge breath in, look forward, and then step back downward facing right. Roll yourself into a high plank pose. Lower down knees, chest, and chin. On your inhale, find your cobra, and then on your exhale, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high to the sky, and step it into a long runner's lunge. Very nice. From that runner's lunge, standing needle, shift that right heel high towards the ceiling. Hands stay under the shoulders here. Awesome. And then from there, thumbs come to heart, heart comes to thumbs. All right, find that sort of halfway lift, tuck the core, and then open into Ardha Chandrasana or half moon, looking up towards the sky. Pressing firmly down through the big toe knuckle with that left foot. Breathing as you look up. Maybe having a little courage, a little opportunity for bravery to lift that heart to your thumb, playing with a little bit of balance, even if you just do it for a half second. Breathe for 4, 3, 2, and 1. So back to standing needle just for a breath, and then big toe meets big toe. Very nice. With big toes touching, slowly begin to roll yourself back up. Awesome. Drawing the shoulder blades back. And spend a moment here in true north. Alright, so with your lips gently closed and the chin slightly floating under the crown of the head. Soften the muscles behind the eyes. Feel the arms get heavier. And then just connect to the breath. Nothing to do. And just kind of observe the sensations and just observe whatever experience you find yourself in right now. Alright, and in this moment of pause, shift back towards that intention. From there, take a big breath in, and then a big breath out. All right, we'll keep it moving. Inhale, reach the arms up, press the palms together overhead, lower the hands down to heart center, and then lower the hands to your hips. Toe heel your feet together from there, hinge from the hips, and then from there, peace fingers grab big toes. We'll bend our knees, look forward, creating a strong flat back. And then exhale, pull the crown of the head down, shifting weight into the balls of the feet as the elbows move towards the front of the mat. You know, a lot of you hear me say this a lot if you come to OPY, Orlando Power Yoga, right? You hear me say, keep the belly against the thighs and the thighs against the belly. Right? I think that's important to keep your spine long and your practice honest. Right? But some of you kind of like to round more here, and you've been told that from different teachers or practices, and that's fine, right? But just do something that allows you to stay in the body, right? As opposed to letting the mind wander and judging and planning and analyzing. Right? Do something that keeps you in the physical sensation of the practice and the awareness of your intention and breath. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the big toes, hands into the mat. Option for Bakasana. All right, so Bakasana crow pose really kind of requested a lot, right? So hands into the mat. Bring the heels right off the mat, allowing the knees to travel up into the armpits or maybe on the triceps. And then from your crow poses, or if you're practicing crow, maybe you just shift about 10% of the weight into your hands, right? If you have a crow pose practice and arm balance here, maybe you shift the weight all the way into your hands, eventually bringing your big toes to touch as the heels travel towards your groin, right, or towards your pelvic floor there, towards your perineum. Right, stay long through the neck, even here, gazing towards that front edge of your mat, holding it here just for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the feet back down. From here, stay in your forward fold as we transition into Padahastasana from our crow pose. From our crows to our gorillas. With our gorillas, right, shifting weight into the balls of the feet, really stomp on the hands with the toes up on the wrists. Right? And then from there, bend your knees, look forward. Before you pull yourself into the forward fold, think about trying to pull your hands out from under your feet. Right? So keep that same pulling forward, and then from that place, pull yourself down. Right? I see a lot of just like extension and straightening of the legs, and the arms are just kind of accessories here. Right? Can the arms be more of the primary mechanism of the forward fold here in Gorilla, Padahastasana? And letting the legs be secondary. Breathe. 3 more breaths. Slowly release your Padahastasana. Second opportunity for Bakasana or crow pose. So walking the toes right behind the wrist, coming up high onto the balls of the feet as you begin to shift weight into the hands, coming into the full Bakasana. And if you have TT Bandhasana and you have like different expressions from here, some of you like to take tripod headstand from here, right? That's fine, go for it. Right? If you're coming into a tripod headstand, gentle on the crown of the head. We're only here just for another 5, 4, 3, 2. Option to step float through that vinyasa, right? But we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhaling into an up dog if you chose that vinyasa. Exhaling into a downward facing dog. Very nice. And then from here, let's get you off your hands, right? So unplug your hands, walk them towards the back of the mat. Very nice. Grabbing opposite elbows, sway side to side. And spending some time here in ragdoll. And just letting go of how this practice has been going so far. Right? Whether it's been quote unquote good or bad. Right? Allowing yourself just to come back to this ragdoll, taking it one breath at a time. And coming back to that intention, strong rhythm of the breath. Lowering the hands down to the mat. Very nice. And then from here, toe heel and big toes together. We'll slowly roll ourselves up like a zombie. Very nice. Inhale, reach up. Find that strong Tadasana at the back of your mat. And then from there, hands come back to your hips. From there, we'll step that right foot forward towards the center of your mat. We'll step the left toes out to about a 2 o'clock angle. And then make sure both feet have their own lane, like in space. All right, square off the hips, right? So your heart and your right big toe are pointing in the same direction. And then from your heart and your right big toe, close the gap. Hinge from your hips and slowly begin to forward fold. Right, allowing your forehead to travel to your shin and finding pyramid pose. I didn't even say the pose we're coming into, sorry. Pyramid, here we are. So pyramid pose, that right hip, if your practice is anything like mine or your body is, right, that right hip really wants to sneak forward, right? Can you have the discipline, though, to drag that right hip back in space? Almost like you're trying to bring the left temple to the outside of the right shin, like you would in like a Janu Shirsasana. Right, so variations, modifications are here. You can turn this into a half split or a half Hanuman by allowing that left knee to travel to the mat. You can also walk your fingertips towards the back of the mat and then float that left leg off the mat, shifting that left knee towards the forehead, right, coming into a little bit of like a flamingo balance there. And you can interlace the fingers behind the left knee and then use the biceps to pull yourself into a deeper forward fold. That's whichever pyramid you're in. We're here for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Release hands under the shoulders. And then from here, we'll take that twisted period. So allowing that left hand to travel to the outside of the right foot, right? And then reaching the right arm towards the ceiling. Right? But I would say in my practice, this is where I need a block. Right? I got to bring the earth to me. Right? Otherwise, that left shoulder head of mine wants to, the right shoulder head wants to sneak too far towards the right side of the mat. So in order to get a proper stack in the shoulders, need to really twist from the hips and torso. Alright, I gotta bring a block to my mat. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Just a gentle little twisted pyramid there. Alright, and then from there, slowly keep the arms heavy, roll the shoulders over the hips. Awesome, and then just step back, big toe meets big toe. Shake out that right leg, shake out that left leg, it feels good. Awesome, and then from there, hands back to your hips. We'll step that left leg forward towards the middle of the mat. We'll move that right foot to that about 2 o'clock angle. And then square the chest and hips towards the top of the mat. Right, heart, left big toe in line, and then close the gap between the heart and that left big toe. Pyramid pose. Right, left hip wants to sneak in front of it, right? So you can even take your left thumb into your hip crease, your front hip crease there, and just press back, right? Like somebody was pulling back from there, right? Feel that squaring off of the hips. That allows that stretch to become a little bit more intense down the outseam of the left thigh. Yeah, options, right? The flamingo, a little balance there. You can interlace the hands. That's a favorite variation of mine. Is interlacing the fingers behind the right leg and then allowing a deeper forward fold into the arms. Contraction. Breathing for 3. 2. 1. Very nice. Taking that twisted pyramid. First, making sure the hips are square. The heart, right, is leading towards that right big toe. And then I'm going to use a block, moving my right hand to the outside of the left foot, and then twisting from the elbow as I reach up towards the sky. Very nice. If you're trying to drag your right toes towards the top of your mat, feel that engage and twisting more integratively. So, looking up towards that lifted thumb. Breathing here, maybe falling out of it like I am right now, coming back into it. And I can take your practice too seriously. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Release. Move your block to the side if you used it, and then slowly hands under the shoulders as we slowly stack shoulders back to arms are head. Wide step your big toe back to meet your big toe at the back of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, forward fold. Walk yourself out into a high plank pose. Very nice. Awesome. And then from your high plank pose, lower down knees, chest and chin. From there, pull yourself into a cobra pose. And then from there, lower your forehead all the way down. Right, power hour. So I'm going to keep moving you here. What we're going to do is we're going to reach back with bent knees and either grab that lower portion of the shin or upper ankle. Right? Or you can grab the top of your foot as well. If you're grabbing anywhere between the shins and ankle, right, flex the toes down. If you're grabbing the top of the feet, you can point the toes. Allow the big toes to come together. Awesome. And then from there, pull the heels forward. And then with those pulling forward arms, resist back with a kick of your shins. Very nice. Looking up towards the brow. Breathing into this belly bow, but softening the face, right? You can, right, and wear a bunch of drama on your face, and you're wasting energy, right? Can you allow yourself to embrace the struggle and discomfort, and find some progression at the end of this pose by managing your mindset here? Breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Gently release. Little windshield wiper of the legs side to side if you'd like. Awesome. Lower the tops of the feet down and then come into a tabletop pose. From tabletop pose, we'll take some cats and some cows. So on your inhale, drop the belly as you look up and find cat. And then on your exhale, press, arching around it into cat. Awesome. Move on your breath. 3 to 5 rounds of breath here. Just kind of experiencing that flexion and extension of the spine. And I find it really useful to ground down in the body here by just bringing that awareness to the spine. By thinking about each individual vertebra here as it moves, right? Articulating, moving around. Right, even here shifting towards that feeling of awe, right? Grateful and just kind of in that place of wonder about all the complex systems moving in unison in your body right now. Right? Grateful that you can. Slowly come back towards tabletop. And then from there, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Right, so I'm sorry, Natasha, but yesterday we did frog, so we're going to skip frog today. We're going to go into half pigeon pose. Right, so from the half pigeon pose, raise that right leg to the sky. Bring your right knee to your right wrist. I'm sure you would have stayed in it for like 10 minutes, right? And we'll drop that right knee down. Awesome. So we'll do something that Kelly likes to do in her classes, right? Shout out to Kelly, Ona OPY, right? Centers for Love. Hands under the shoulders, right? So before we come into half pigeon, we're gonna tuck the left toes under. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna press weight into the outside of the right foot, and then we're gonna bring the right knee up towards the right armpit, but the right foot stays rooted, okay? So a little awkward if you haven't done it before, but if you have done it before, you know this is a sneaky oblique pose, or oblique work. From there, lower the knee down to the wrist, and then raise that knee back up to the armpit. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway there. Here we go. 6, 7. Keep the hands rooted into the earth. 8, 9. Last one. 10. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into that half pigeon prep. Now untuck the left toes. Point them straight back. Find some height into your heart with your crown of the head, right? Pressing up towards the sky or ceiling. And then you can slowly surrender into your half pigeon. Right, or double pigeon, right? I know Sean's joining us right now. Sean, if you want to take double pigeon, right? I know you've been working on that for a while. Take double pigeon. Right, and then half pigeon pose. You got a couple choices as far as your perspective. Right, it makes a lot of sense for you to focus on the discomfort here. That's what our minds and bodies were designed to do. To pay attention to discomfort in order to avoid it in the future. Right, but unfortunately it's only through that discomfort and embracing it, accepting it, and then breathing into it where we can redefine our relationship to discomfort. Right, where we can find the opportunity in the situation that we might not like. Right? And that is a practice and a perspective and a choice that can prove very useful for us in the coming weeks, if not already. Many of us, myself included, find ourselves in situations that are uncomfortable, anxiety-producing, sad, scary. Right, but here in the yoga practice on the mat, can you practice controlling what you can control? Right, and the pose is here. The virus is here. How can you accept it deeper? How can you accept this half pigeon deeper? Soften and release into it. Right, and then tap into that resilience that you have. Again, what do you need? Stay in with that observation and that experiment here. We'll slowly begin to walk the hands back under the shoulders. Tuck the left toes under, raise the right leg to the sky, and shake out that right leg. Awesome. Very nice. Awesome. Inhale, left leg to the sky. And then from there, it's left knee to left wrist. Alright, so, if you forgot, we're not going right into half pigeon just yet. Alright, or a double pigeon. We're going to keep the hands under the shoulders, and we're going to strengthen that left oblique, that left side body. Alright, we're going to do so by tucking the right toes under. Alright, and then without locking out the elbows and resting into the joints, let's strengthen the muscles here. And then move that left knee up towards the left armpit, or even up towards the sort of center of your chest if you can. Lower it down, press it back up. That's 2. We're moving for 3. Exhaling up for 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Use that whole hand. Shift weight into the 10 fingertips. 9. 10. Hold for 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Lower it down. Very nice. And then keep that same engagement of the core, right? Like, let's use that muscular stoke that we created to find height, and then keep that height as we now surrender into half pigeon here on the opposite side. All right, or double pigeon, king pigeon, queen, whatever, mermaid. Another opportunity just to observe what shows up when you're confronted with discomfort. Right? And if your practice right now is something where you're not open, maybe more to the mindset concepts in yoga, and you just want to stick with the physicality of the practice, that's fine. Right? I like to call that the gateway drug, the physicality of it. Right? The physicality of it, we're softening that left hip. Right? The left hip is really complex. It's got a bunch of muscles and tendons, and ball and socket joint, right? A lot going on. Right? So can we use the pressure of the body to decompress and soften that big, strong muscle group? Bringing that awareness to the body, identifying any particular tension or feelings of holding that you might have, and then allowing yourself to experiment with releasing that hold, releasing that tension. Not too much longer. What do you need? Slowly begin to walk the hands back up towards the hips. And then from there, just roll onto the left hip, swing both legs forward. Awesome. So, I recommend giving the legs a little bit of a flutter here. Awesome. And then spread the butt cheeks away from one another, right? Kind of get comfortable there with yourself or personal with yourself. Pull the butt cheeks away and then internally rotate the thighs, right? Manually shift them in towards one another. That's going to allow for a really strong Dandasana or staff pose. 90-degree angle, belly and thigh. Quadriceps so engaged that the heels lift up off the mat. Right? So this is a difficult pose to hold, right? It's an active pose. From there, reverse swan dive up from the arms. Take a moment there just to feel that 90-degree bend, and feel the power through your legs and arms. And then from there, let's close the gap between heart and toes once more. Paschimottanasana, reaching forward. If you can grab the outsides of your feet, that's fine. If grabbing the outsides of your feet means you have to round, right, and sort of close off your airway, I'd much rather your hands on your shins, or maybe even grabbing a towel or a strap, right, and then sort of kind of like bringing the legs to you. Right? But if you can grab the outsides of the feet, pull the elbows down. I'm going to take two different variations of Paschimottanasana. So right now, just take that standard one with me for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the outsides of the feet, and then from here we'll take that yin version. So reach under the legs, try and grab opposite elbows for a moment if you can, and then press the back of the knees up into the forearms, and then surrender the forehead towards the kneecaps or shins. If that's intense enough of a stretch, like even for me right now, I feel that in the fascia that frames my lower back and all the way up into my neck. Right? But to intensify it, press the knees down into the forearms, but then pull the forearms up into the knees as you separate the shoulder blades from one another. Right, almost like a Paschimottanasana rabbit hybrid here. 3. Almost like you're breathing into the back of your shoulders. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Release. Awesome. From there, stack the shoulders back over the hips. Little counter opening from that deeper forward fold. We'll reverse the fingers to point towards the back of the mat, and then just kind of open up the heart like a seated camel pose, kind of. Very nice. Awesome. Slowly come back, and then scoop the groin towards the heels, and then we'll just cannonball on back. So cannonball a few times. Right, this is that opportunity. If you have more time in your practice and you want to add a plow sequence to it, go for it. But again, yesterday we did plow, Just take a nice Paschimottanasana and a hard opening, so we should be good. Alright, let's take a gentle little twist here. So, standard supine twist. Extend the left leg out onto the mat, hug the right thigh in, and then tuck the left hip under as you drag that right knee up and over the body. And then look up and away towards that right thumb. Right, keeping the shoulders rooted into the mat. Right, so try not to let that right shoulder scoop off the mat. Keep that left heel, heart, and right hip all down center. Slowly begin to undo that supine twist, coming back onto your back, hugging the knees into the chest, and then extend the right leg, hug that left thigh in a little bit more intensely, and then tuck the hip under, drag that right knee up and over the supine twist. Opposite side. Slowly undo that supine twist, coming back onto your belly. Alright, I know Sean's practicing with us, so we'll say it, or I'll say it. The happiest of all babies, right? Reach up, grab the outsides of your feet, draw the knees down, heart high. Flex the toes towards the shin. Alright, and then from here, when I say inhale, we'll breathe in together. We're going to fill all the way up at the top. And then when you exhale, right, especially if you're like home alone or, you know, you're with your family and who cares what they think, make some noise. Stick out the tongue, bulge the eyes, and release something that's getting in the way of your best yet. Right, so big, massive breath in. Let it go. 2 more of those. Big breath in. Let it go. The last one, holding it at the top. Big breath in. Hold that breath. And then hold that breath in the body for 5, 4, 3, 2, Shavasana, or Supta Baddha Konasana. Alright, I'll join Shavasana, or Supta Baddha today. You choose whatever final resting pose you like. And then similar to how we started practice, can you just take a moment here of still observation to note whatever it is that's showing up on your mat. Potentially observing the mind's tendency and impulse to try and fix or manage or plan whatever it is that's coming up. Can we take a moment here in the depth of our practice, whether you're in corpse or Supta Baddha Konasana, to do nothing with whatever's showing up on the mat outside of just being with it. Creating a holding space of patience, time. Just observing how things shift and change. And we just observe. Nice and normal, no need to control your breath. Allow your attention to identify some things in your life right now that you feel super lucky that you have. whether they're superficial things, car, yoga mat, or they're more deep things like connection to your spouse or your dog or whatever it may be. Can you identify some detailed things that you feel lucky that you have right now, even in the midst of what's going on around you? And then from that place of gratitude, can you mobilize your energy, right, from that place of gratitude? Right, feeling that gratitude move through the body as you draw your knees into your chest, rocking to your right or left side. And I would challenge you to keep your mind on those things that you feel lucky to have. When you feel the pose, take it a moment just to feel your body against the mat. And then with those aspects of gratitude in your mind's eye, slowly press yourself up into a cross-legged seated position. Legs crossed, heart high, spine long and dignified. Long, dignified, and alert, but not rigid. I recommend bringing that soft smile to your face, honoring the fact that you've done what you've done. Practice gratitude, compassion, moving the body, breath. Right, so from that place of self-worth that motivates you to show up. Thumbs rise at forehead center, always grateful for the practice, the community, every individual who joined us online, and every individual who will. Right, from that place, we all have the opportunity to sing Namaste. Awesome. So thanks for joining me. Again, for another one of these. I'll keep them coming. And yeah, reach out, support Orlando Power Yoga, right? Support your local restaurants and small businesses. And we'll continue to get through this together. So, shelter in, shelter on.